If you're thinking of buying your first camera, here are 5 options that might be the right fit for you. Number 1 is the Panasonic GH4. Now this was a camera that got filmmakers really excited when it first came out because it was the first chance to affordably shoot 4K. And a quick note here for this video, every camera's got to meet 3 criteria to be eligible for our list. Number 1 is the ability to shoot 4K. Number 2 is that you've got to be able to pick one up secondhand for around about £500 or less. And number 3, the sensor's got to be micro four thirds or larger to give you a good quality image. Now back to the GH4, you can normally get one for around £350 and it will allow you to shoot 24 frames per second at 4K, which is fantastic if you're looking to shoot fiction, or narrative shorts, or anything like that. It also will allow you to shoot in the Vlog L profile, which gives you more flexibility when you come into the colour grade later. I really do love the Panasonic colour science, particularly if you're outdoors filming in nature, it captures some really beautiful looking images. Camera number 2 is the Sony a7S Mark II. Now these often go secondhand for a little over £500, but if you look around for a good deal, you might just be able to find one. The Sony a7S Mark II was an incredibly popular camera, particularly with event filmmakers, as it had amazing low light performance. It will do 4K UHD up to 24 frames per second, and it'll also give you some really handy features such as autofocus, inbuilt image stabilization or IBIS, and also allow you to shoot in S-Log as well. Today, this camera is still a great starting point to get into the Sony ecosystem. As you progress through your career and want to upgrade your cameras, you can upgrade to a Sony a7S Mark III. This will also mean that you can use all the lenses that you bought for the Sony a7S Mark II. Now, if you're just getting into filmmaking and photography and want to know what steps to take to turn this into your professional career, then head over to our school page where we've got full filmmaking and photography workshops that will take you start to finish on how to produce professional looking content. Camera number 3 is the Canon 5D Mark III. Now this is the camera that's attributed of kicking off the DSLR filmmaking revolution. Today you can get one secondhand for around £350 and it's a great choice when paired with a low aperture lens. The Canon Nifty 50 lens is a great option to pair with this camera. You can easily find that lens for under £100 and it will allow you to shoot with really shallow depth of field and get that classic Canon look. Again, if you're looking to do narrative work, this can be a fantastic choice, and Canon is famed for those lovely, rich, warm colours and great looking skin tones. Now, the more observant of you here will have noticed that the Canon 5D Mark III doesn't do 4K internally. If you do some research, there are workarounds to be able to get a 4K signal out of the Canon 5D Mark III, but do your research and make sure whether that option is right for you or not. Camera number 4 is the Sony FS700. If you search hard enough online, you can typically find one of these for just under the £500 mark, and back in the day it was a real workhorse of a camera. It has a real sturdy and solid build, as well as lots of professional features such as inbuilt ND, XLR audio, and slow motion, even up to things like 240 frames per second. This era of Sony cameras really had a look that lots of people loved, and if you're just starting out in filmmaking, it really conveys a bit more of a professional look with a larger, solid body compared to, say, a mirrorless or DSLR camera. Camera number 5 is the original Blackmagic Cinema camera 4K. From the makers of DaVinci Resolve, the colour grading software that we all love, the Blackmagic Cinema camera, the original 4K camera, really caused waves when it was first released. This was most noticeably because of the Blackmagic colour science, and it allowed you to shoot 4K RAW with up to 12 stops of dynamic range. That was really revolutionary at the time that it came out. For 18 months, this was my primary camera, and if you've used one before, you do know it has some difficulties when you're using it. The screen is incredibly reflective, it can overheat, the audio is a bit of an issue, and it does shoot on large SSDs, which can be difficult to use sometimes. But if you're willing to look past all that, the colours and the images you can get out of this camera really are special. Any great affordable cameras that you think we've missed, let us know in the comments below.